Hey guys, it's Adam here from Dodjit.com. I hope you've all had a nice weekend. You weren't analysing the charts too much like I was. What I want to do in this session is I want to go over a few Forex charts. I want to explain what happened last week regarding the stimulus package. And what we're going to do is we're going to analyse a few of the charts and I'm going to show you some setups that we are looking at. Alright then, so basically what happened last week was that the massive stimulus plan that's been in the news over the last couple of months, it finally went through the House of Representatives and it also went through the Senate. Now, both of them authorised the plan, said it's okay, and what that basically means is now that President Barack Obama can start to use all these fiscal policies in order to stimulate the economy. What he intends to do is reviving the economy by providing approximately 3.5 million jobs. Now, funny enough, the markets didn't really react. They weren't really that bothered, and what we should be asking ourselves now is, was it really the stimulus plan, or is there some other factor that's now affecting investors? In my opinion, it's all to do at the moment with confidence. It's all to do with confidence. What's happened is that even though the government, they're doing their utmost to try to restore the economic situation to a normal, regular cycle, to a normal, healthy state, the problem is consumers, investors, they're lacking confidence in government policies. And what's basically happening all over the markets is that prices are starting to freeze. As we can see, and as I'm going to show you in a second, most of the indices now are consolidating. They've been consolidating for quite a while. And in addition to that, what we're going to do here is we're going to just go over a few Forex pairs. We can also see, and I've stated this on many of the reports beforehand, is that we're receiving these ranging patterns because basically investors just don't know where to put their money. So what we're doing at the moment is we are working on those ranges, buying at support, selling at resistance. What I want to do now is I just want to go over the first chart, which is a Euro US dollar chart. Now, as you can all see, we found support around the 127.80 area, roughly around here. We did break trend line resistance coming down. We broke it, but we just can't manage to climb higher. We've also got resistance level roughly around here, 1.3080. So basically at the moment we seem to be stuck. We're not breaching our prior lows, which is a good thing. But what I do want to see is I want to see a breakout of either this resistance or this support level, depending on the state of the economy and how investors acknowledge what's going on. But I do want to see a break in order to take a swing trade. Otherwise, I'm working on the support and resistance levels. Now, the next chart I want to show you guys is the US dollar against Japanese yen. It's a daily chart. Oh, by the way, the charts that I'm using are NetDanya charts. You can find them at netdanya.com. Now, what happened, funny enough, is that on Friday, the US stock market closed in negative territory, but the US dollar Japanese yen really climbed higher. Now, normally we've got this strong correlation between the dollar against the Japanese yen and the S&P 500. And on Friday, they kind of diverged from one another, and the US dollar against the Japanese yen closed positively, while the S&P 500 closed negatively. So that's something that we're looking at. It's a little bit interesting. Does it mean that risk is coming back into the market? I'm not sure at the moment. I know at the moment we've still got some major resistance levels to overcome. We've got this level roughly around here. Even though we did form a higher low, you can see roughly around here we are climbing on this minor trend line. And we've kind of formed this bullish triangle. I'm a little bit skeptic at the moment. I want to see it break forward. I would rather take swing positions on this currency pair when we get more of a clearer direction on the overall market. So that's something that I'm looking at. We've also got resistance roughly around here. So, you know, we've still got some major resistance levels to overcome. Let's just take it day by day, see how it plays out, and according to that we'll make decisions. The next chart I want to show you is the pound against the US dollar. It's also a daily chart. Now, even though it might not seem that we are consolidating, if we look carefully on the charts, I'm going to just draw some trend lines roughly like that and one like that. We can see that we are basically also consolidating. We can see that we're moving in this sideways direction. The major trend is still down, but recent price action does show some stability around this area. We managed to cross back into our ranging area. Now on Friday, what happened here? If we look carefully at this candlestick, let's just zoom in on this candlestick for a second. On this candlestick right here, we can see that we formed, I don't know if we could call it an inverted hammer, but we did form a candlestick that managed to find support after on Thursday it bounced off this trend line level. So basically, yet again, we're working on support and resistance. We're taking into consideration the 1.4850 level, the 1.4120 level, and that's what we're working on at the moment. The next chart that I want to show you guys is the US dollar against the Canadian dollar. It's a daily chart. Now, since September last year, since this massive rally, we've basically been going nowhere. Completely nowhere. And if we look very, very carefully, the price pattern is actually now converging, which is a good sign that we could see some type of breakout. If we look carefully, we can see like this symmetrical triangle that's started to form. I want to see what's going to happen here, and obviously this is going to really depend on what's happening in the overall market. We're not now just looking at the dollar against the Canadian dollar and we want to see how it reacts. We're looking at the overall market and how the dollar is reacting against an array of currency pairs. The last chart I want to show you guys is the Australian dollar against the US dollar. Let's just zoom in on that. And yet again, what we're doing is we're just consolidating. We formed this type of double bottom around here. We continued higher. We just couldn't climb higher. And we fell back down to our consolidation area. We've got this major support level roughly around here. We've got resistance roughly around here. And we've got further resistance roughly around there. What I will be doing at the moment is just playing off support and resistance, ranging strategies. Now, what I also do want to say before I go is that on Monday, the US markets are going to be closed, so I wouldn't expect any rapid movements. We might see some movement on the crosses in the European markets, but anything dollar related, I think what it would be more advisable to do is to wait and see how the markets are going to open on Tuesday. That's about it. So we'll keep you posted. This is Adam from Dodjit.com.